The NFL preseason has come to an end, and it is finally time for the NFL regular season. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to let you know that I will be posting a lot of NFL content coming up here soon. Now that we're getting into the regular season, I will be posting NFL news. I will be going over game previews such as Thursday Night Football, the main Sunday slate, Monday Night Football. I'll be going over fantasy football news for redraft, for DFS, which is daily fantasy sports if you play it. I'll be going over my favorite starts and sits, waiver wire pickups, my favorite DraftKings lineups, and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. But for today, we're going to be doing a NFL entire season predictor. And this is where I pick the winner of every single game for the whole 18 weeks, the entire season. This is obviously my predictions. Obviously, it's going to be 100% correct. I won't get anything wrong here because that never happens. We will be going through the entire regular season, like I said, into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl for my Super Bowl prediction and winner. So let's jump right into it. Week 1, here we are already, just about a week and a half away. We're going to get these predictions here. Now they are a little out of order for some reason. This website, they put them in AFC, NFC, and then they do interconference play instead of having it the Thursday night game and then the next game to air and all the way to the last game on Monday night. For some reason, it doesn't do that, but that's okay. We're just going to start here. And also on this website, as we do these game predictions, here on the side, we have the records and the division standings that the website will generate for us. Over here, we have the AFC, and then obviously over here, we have the NFC. Now, since we are going through all 18 weeks, it's going to be a lot of games to predict. Without giving a ton of analysis on every game, I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible because no one wants to watch me talk about every single game and why I picked that team to win for 20 minutes. So if I don't spend a lot of time on a certain matchup, it's just because I didn't have anything. Well, I have something to say about every pick, but just don't need to give an explanation for every single selection here. So kicking it off, I'm just going to start here on the left side, even though these games are out of order, but it is still the correct games that are being played. The Chiefs and the Chargers for their international game kickoff. I'm going to go with Kansas City here. I think they come out week 1, a bad taste in their mouth from what happened in the Super Bowl, and I think they get the international win. This is not the first game of the season. Over here, Cowboys and Eagles is. We'll go ahead and pick that one just because we're already here. I think the defending Super Bowl champs get the win at home. I think they're the better team, and they're the home team who usually wins on that Thursday night game to kick off the season. Defending champs, I'm pretty sure they have a winning record in that matchup there, so I'm going to take them. Continuing over here at the AFC, the Steelers and the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers right back in New York where last season ended for him. Justin Fields going up against his former team from last season, the Steelers. We got a double revenge game going on here. Jets do have the home advantage. I believe this is a regular Sunday game during the day. The Steelers are the better team. I'm going to pick the Steelers for this one. I think they get the win on the road. They have the better defense. You could argue that the Jets may have the better quarterback. I think the Steelers have the better all-around team, and they get the win. Dolphins and Colts. I'm going to go Dolphins here. They're just a better team than the Colts right now. And here, I'm going to give an upset. I'm going to give the Browns the week 1 win over the Bengals due to Cincinnati having a record of starting slow in the regular season. They've started the past 2 seasons or whatever it is. I want to say 0-2 or 1-2, something like that. They're notorious for starting slow in the Joe Burrow era. This is a divisional game in Cleveland. I think the Browns get the week 1 upset over the Bengals. Kicking it off here with the Raiders and Pats. I'm going to take the Raiders. I think they have the better team with Geno Smith. Pete Carroll gets his Raider coaching debut win. I think Denver ruins Cam Ward's opening start for Tennessee. They're at home. They're the better team. That defense is going to be top 5 in the NFL. I think they're going to be one of the surprise teams with Bo Nix and their young offense and their outstanding defense. I don't see how Cam Ward can get the win in Denver week 1. Bills and Ravens. This is the Sunday night game, I believe. Yes, it is. This is the Sunday night kickoff game. Bills and Ravens, where the Ravens season ended last season in Buffalo. I'm going to pick the Bills. I think them at home will get the win. I think the Ravens are the overall better team, but I'm going to give it prime time in Buffalo, Josh Allen. I'm going to give Buffalo the win here. Carolina and Jacksonville for our first interdivisional game. In Jacksonville, the Liam Cohen era begins with a W. Texans and Rams. I'm going to pick the Texans here on the road in LA. I know the Rams are projected to be a pretty good team this season. I think they have a 9.5 or 10 game win total prediction. I think Houston, they have a really good defense. It's underrated, some might say. I think CJ Stroud has a bounce back season. I think the Rams get off to a slow start with the Matthew Stafford injury. He's really not been in any training camp. So I think they get off to a slow start here, and Houston gets the win. Cardinals and Saints. Saints are just not good. Probably won't be picking them to win very many games this season. Cardinals get the win here. I think Tampa Bay gets the win over Atlanta. Penix does not get a win in week 1. Commanders over the Giants. I got the Niners over the Seahawks. The Sam Darnold era starts with a loss. I think the Niners are also a team who can bounce back and have a better season. They did lose a lot of pieces on defense, but still, I think they're a good team. I think they're better than Seattle here. A bit of a surprise. I'm going to go with Green Bay over Detroit. Detroit lost the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. That is not something that you can just wash away. Losing both coordinators can be tough. And I think the Lions feel it a little bit, especially in the early part of the season. They're going to have to figure some things out with their new coordinators. Green Bay is a really good team. I think they're a little bit underrated as well. I think they'll surprise some people with expectations. Green Bay gets the win here, week 1 in Lambeau. If this game was in Detroit, maybe it'd have a little bit different, but it's in Lambeau, week 1. Give me Green Bay. Chicago, Monday Night Football. I got them beating Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy not kicking off his starting career with a win. I got Chicago with their good defense and their new head coach, Ben Johnson. I've got them winning week 1. On to the next week. Bills and Jets. That is an easy Bills pick. Patriots and Dolphins. I think Dolphins get that one as well. The Jags and Bengals. I think the Bengals get on the board here with a W. They're in Cincinnati. I think they avenge that week 1 upset loss to the Browns. Browns do not get back-to-back upsets. I think Baltimore wins here, and they get their first win of the season. Denver over Daniel Jones and the Colts. Chargers get their first win over Vegas. Interdivisional, I have the Rams beating the Titans. Cam Ward still waiting for his first win of his rookie season. I've got Pittsburgh over Seattle. I think they have a really good defense with the additions of Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt. He's not an addition, but he's still on the team. Alex Highsmith. They added somebody else I'm drawing a blank on. He was a good player, though. I know they added Harmon in the draft. I think they get the win in Pittsburgh. Big game here. Philadelphia and Kansas City. Super Bowl rematch. This one is in Kansas City. I know the Eagles beat them in Kansas City a couple of seasons ago. They obviously just beat them in the Super Bowl. I think Kansas City has a bad taste in their mouth. They're at home. I think they get it done here. I think they beat Philadelphia and get their revenge. Mahomes is on his revenge season, and we're going to see it take place here. I've got Houston over Tampa. They are at home. If this game was in Tampa, I'd probably go the other way. But Houston, again, I think a team that's a little bit underrated. They have a really good defense. D'Amico Ryans is a great defensive-minded head coach. I think CJ Stroud has a bounce back season. I think they get the win here. Commanders and Packers. I think Green Bay gets this win. They're again at home over Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Cowboys over the Giants. Niners over the Saints. Lions get their first win over the Bears. Cardinals over the Panthers. And I have got this is a hard one. Penix or McCarthy. Vikings are at home. They have a good defense. I'm going to go Minnesota. Minnesota picks up their first win in the J.J. McCarthy era. On to the next week here, I got Bills over the Dolphins. They're just a better team. I've got Cam Warden, the Titans, getting their first win of the season over the division foe Colts at home. Steelers starting the season off 3-0, going against the New England Patriots. New England still waiting for that first win of the season in the Mike Vrabel era. Jacksonville over Houston, handing them their first loss of the season. Jacksonville always plays Houston tough when they are at home. I've got the Jags taking the first set of this divisional matchup. I got Denver over the Chargers. They're off to a 3-0 start. I think their team's going to be really good. Cincinnati with the win in Minnesota. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are off to a 2-1 start. That is pretty good for them compared to recent years. I've got Tampa over Justin Fields and the Jets. I've got Jaden Daniels and the Commanders taking this one against the Raiders. Green Bay in Cleveland. This could be a trap game. Cleveland's not an easy place to play, but I got Green Bay over Flacco and the Browns. Chiefs over the Giants. Lions and Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens. The Ravens are at home in this one. They have a really good defense. Like I said, Lions could start a little slow with that both coordinator change. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this one at home. Some could say early season Super Bowl preview. Who knows? Maybe I have that. Maybe I don't. You'll have to stay and see. Rams and Eagles. I got the Eagles. I said Rams could have a slow start to the season. Falcons and Panthers. I got Penix and the Falcons picking up a win here. Saints and Seahawks. This is where I have Seattle grabbing their first win. Saints are just not very good. Cardinals and Niners. I got the Niners winning at home here. And I've got the Cowboys winning in Chicago against Caleb Williams and the Bears. Going on to week 4 here to wrap up the first month of the season. I've got the Texans over the Titans. Chiefs and Ravens. I've got the Ravens handing the Chiefs their first loss. Ravens, one of the top teams, if not the most complete team in the AFC. I got them beating Kansas City in Kansas City. I got the Dolphins over the Jets here. I have got Cincinnati with what could be an upset over Denver in Denver. I think Burrow, he gets it done. He comes into Denver. It's a Monday night game. We have a double Monday night header here, I see. I think Burrow comes in Monday Night Football and beats them in a hard place to play in Denver. I think Jamar Chase gets the better of that matchup against Surtain. Another international game here, Vikings and Steelers. I got the Steelers. They are 4-0, but they've just started with such a easy schedule that is how it's lined up. I have got Panthers or Patriots. I'm leaning Patriots because they're at home, but Panthers, scroll down here, they don't have a win yet on the season. This could be their first. Both teams 0-3. I'm going to give it to New England. They get their first win in the Mike Vrabel era. Chargers and Giants. Chargers are just a better team. Saints and Bills. This one could be over quickly. Lions and Browns. You could say the same for this one. Rams get their second win against Daniel Jones and the Colts, who are winless. That's just how it's worked out here. I don't expect them to be very good. Niners over the Jags. I have got Raiders and Bears. The Raiders are 1-2. The Bears are 1-2. This one is in Vegas. Bears have a good defense. Raiders really don't. I'm going to give this to the Bears. I think the Bears win and in Vegas. They got Odunze, DJ Moore. Like I said, new head coach Ben Johnson. Maybe Caleb Williams takes a step up and the good defense. Cardinals over the Seahawks. They're off to a good start at 3-1. I have got Philly beating Tampa in Tampa. I got Jaden Daniels beating Penix in Atlanta. And I have the Cowboys with the upset over Green Bay, handing them their first loss. Game is in Dallas. So looking at the first month of the season here, we have Buffalo leading the AFC East at 4-0, which would come surprise to nobody. 0-4 could be a surprise. I mean, if the Jets were 0-4, I don't think anybody would blink an eye. I think that's fine. Steelers 4-0 would definitely turn some heads. I don't think anybody would expect them to be 4-0. The Bengals at 3-1, that wouldn't be surprising, but it would be a faster start that they're off to rather than what they've done in previous seasons in the Joe Burrow era. Denver leading the AFC East could surprise some people. It could surprise some casuals because Denver, they're a good team and they can definitely make a playoff run and a deep playoff run at that. The Texans leading the AFC East, nothing new there. Over here to the NFC. NFC West, the Niners at 4-0 could be surprising to some. Some people may not expect them to have a very good season. The Cardinals at 3-1 would be a nice start for them. The NFC East, nothing surprising here. The NFC North, 2-2. 2-2 could be surprising. Like I said, the casuals who don't know that the Lions lost their coordinators could probably say that that's a surprising start. But 2-2 is also not a bad start. So we have Lions with a 2-2 start. That's not something that would be surprising. In the NFC South, nothing really crazy going on there. Moving on, because we have 14 more weeks to get through here. Texans and Ravens. I have Baltimore grabbing this one. I think they're just the better team. They have the good defense. I think they give CJ Stroud some fits in that one. They are at home. If that one was in Houston, I might actually give the game to Houston, but since it's in Baltimore, I've got them winning. I've got the Colts picking up their first win here. They don't go 0-5. They get their first win against the Raiders because it's the Raiders. Bills over the Pats. They are 5-0. Chiefs in Jacksonville, playing in Jacksonville on a Monday Night Football too. I think Liam Cohen gets these guys to bounce back, and I think the Jaguars compete for a wild card spot, and crazy enough, maybe even the division. The AFC South is not really something you'd say the Texans or anybody has on lock. But I'm going to give the Chiefs the road win here. Mahomes is on his revenge tour. Another week of international games, Minnesota and Cleveland. I got Flacco picking up the win against McCarthy and the Vikings. They are off to what some could say a surprising 1-4 start, since they only lost 3 games all of last season and they've already lost 4 now. But McCarthy is pretty much a true rookie, not playing really any games because of the torn ACL in his rookie season. Cowboys and Jets. I have got the Jets with the home upset against Dak and the boys. Justin Fields gets his first win of the season, and Aaron Glenn, first win as head coach. Denver and Philly. This is a good one here. Like I said, I think Denver's going to be a really good team on the season as a whole. They already have an outstanding defense, which is what Philadelphia has. Oh, Philadelphia is at home. They're 3-1. Denver's 3-1. Again, this is one of those games where it just comes down to who is at home. I'm giving it to Philly. Dolphins and Panthers. I'm going to give it to Carolina. They get their first win of the season. Dave Canales and the guys with Bryce Young. They beat Tua and the Dolphins. Titans and Cardinals. I think Cardinals win here. Chargers and Manders. I got the Manders. Lions and Bengals. This one could be an absolute shootout. Lions project to have a better defense because they did have a lot of injuries last season, and most of their guys, including Aiden Hutchinson, will be back. Bengals, their defense is atrocious. I don't think they're going to stop very many people. I think Burrow and the Bengals and Jamar Chase, they're going to have to put up absolute crazy numbers to win a game because of their defense. Bengals are at 3-1. Lions are at 2-2. I think the Lions got this one. I think the Bengals defense doesn't hold up enough, and I think Goff and the Lions get this one done here on the road. 49ers and Rams, I think the Niners win this one, and they are a surprising 5-0. I didn't project that to happen, but that's just the way the schedule has come out here. They are 5-0. The Rams are also a team that likes to start slow. I think they were 1-4 this prior season, and then they finished the season. What was it? They finished the season 10-7, so they finished 9-3. They're also a team that likes to start slow, but they tend to start slow. Giants get their first win of the season here, if I'm correct. Yes, first win of the season here for the Giants. Saints are just not good. Tampa win over Seattle. I know it's in Seattle, but I just don't project Sam Darnold to do very well for this Seahawk team. Tampa with the win there. Denver over the Jets. Steelers over the Browns. They're 5-0. I know the Browns could very well win this game, but I just don't have it projected here. Dolphins over the Chargers in Miami. Vegas over Tennessee. I have got Jacksonville over Seattle. I have got Baltimore over the Rams. Cardinals over the Colts. Patriots over the Saints, who still have no wins. The Saints are the only winless team we've got here. I've got Green Bay over Burrow and the Bengals. I have Kansas. Oh, I don't know. I try to go too quick with that one, but I got to think about it a little bit. Kansas City is at home. Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas City here. They're off to a good start at 5-1. Buffalo over Penix and the Falcons. Eagles over the Giants. Bucks hand the 49ers their first loss of the season. Cowboys over the Panthers and Manders over the Bears. A rematch of that Hail Mary game on Monday Night Football here. Week 7, we've got Pittsburgh over Cincinnati. This is where it ends. Pittsburgh, you have your first loss of the season. They are 5-1. Patriots pick up the win over Cam Ward and the Titans. They're off to a hard start, 1-6 with rookie Cam Ward. Actually, I'm going to go Titans. I think Titans get the win here, and they're off to a 2-5 start. Chiefs over Vegas. The Browns with the upset over Tua and the Dolphins. They are at home. Tough place to play in Cleveland. I think Flacco and the Browns, they have a good defense. They pick up the win over Tua and the Dolphins. Chargers over the Colts. International game, Rams and Jags. I got the Rams ending their losing streak and beating Jacksonville. I have got the Jets over the Panthers. I've got Denver over New York. Especially with the schedule Denver has here. They should definitely do well this season. I got Houston over Seattle in Seattle. I have got the Eagles over McCarthy and the Vikings. Saints don't do it. They don't pick up their first win. I got the Bears winning this one. Packers over the Cardinals. I'm going to have Cowboys over the Manders here. I think an upset there. Cowboys are at home. It's an interdivisional game. I think they pick up the win here. Niners over the Falcons, and I've got Lions over the Bucks. So the next one here, we're going to start seeing less and less games due to bye weeks. Bengals over the Jets. I've got Patriots over the Browns. I have Titans over the Colts. I think they avenge that loss in the early part of the season. Cam Ward gets another win here. Chargers over the Vikings. They are off to a 1-6 start, which probably is not going to happen. But if it did, would anybody be shocked with a pretty much rookie QB? No, they wouldn't. Houston with the upset. I mean, you wouldn't really say upset. Houston's a good team. They made the playoffs last year. San Francisco didn't. They've lost a lot of pieces defensively. But Houston at home, they get the win here. Buffalo over Carolina, no upset there. I have got Two on the Dolphins picking up a win against Penix and the Falcons. They are, wow. Looking at the NFC South here, not good. But would anybody be surprised if the NFC South turned out this way? No, they wouldn't, because none of these teams are really good except for Tampa. I've got the Ravens are no match, or the Bears are no match for Caleb. The Bears are no match for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. There we go. I was having an aneurysm there, but we got it figured out. Denver beats Dallas in Denver. Packers, another Aaron Rodgers reunion here. It's not in Green Bay, but Packers come and visit Rodgers' new home in Pittsburgh. I think they get the win there, and that is now 2 straight losses for the Steelers after their cupcake start to the season. I've got the Chiefs beating the Commanders. Some could have that going the other way, but I don't think the Commanders have the magical season NFC championship run that they had last year. I think they come a little bit down to earth and win about 9-10 games, 11 at the most. Eagles over the Giants, who are still winless. No, they have 1 win. But I know interdivisional game. It's in Philly. The Giants are not good. It's going to be Russell Wilson. Maybe Jackson Dart by this time. Maybe Jameis Winston by this time. Who knows? I don't care who it is. Eagles get the win. I'm trying to find a spot where I give the Saints and the Saint fans their first win. But honestly, if they're not a delusional Saints fan, which I don't think there are very many of them, they shouldn't expect a win through any of these games that there have been. Tampa gets the win. They're on to 5-3. Baltimore in Miami gets the win. I could see this one being an upset, but Baltimore is just one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the best. They are projected to have a deep playoff run, potentially a Super Bowl run. I think they beat Tua and the Dolphins. We know how Tua and the Dolphins fare against those top-tier teams. They don't usually get those wins. I have got Houston with the upset over Denver in Houston. The Texans, they play well at home. Chargers, a West Coast team, traveling to, I'm going to assume this is an early game on the East Coast. I got Tennessee with the upset. I think Cam Ward, we're getting to the mid-season point here. I think he develops as a rookie, figures it out, and I think they get the win here with the West Coast team in an early time slot game. Steelers with the win over the Colts. Jags over Vegas. Bills and Chiefs. Always a premier regular season and playoff matchup. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Top tier quarterbacks in the league. I think Buffalo gets the win because it's in Buffalo. The Chiefs always seem to struggle against Buffalo when it's the regular season, but then you just tell them that, hey, it's the playoffs, and then they just beat them. But this is regular season. Chiefs lose. Buffalo gets the win. Bengals get the win over the Bears. I think the Penix and the Falcons and Drake London are too much for the Patriots. This is a road win for the Falcons. Packers over the Panthers, who are off to a really bad start. They could be a team that surprises. They could make a playoff wildcard push, but as we see here, I don't have it projected. Maybe they make a second half push and, make that draft pick not as good. Lions over the Vikings. Vikings are 1-7. Niners over the Giants. No upset there. Rams over the Saints. Mariners over the Seahawks. And Cowboys over the Cardinals. I'm going to try and get a little faster at this so this video is not hours long. I have Denver over Vegas. I was thinking about a interdivision upset here, but it's in Denver. Thursday Night Football. Broncos get the win and continue their great start to the season. Geno Smith and the Pete Carroll era not off to a good start here at 2-7. Houston over Jacksonville. They get their revenge after their early season loss. Justin Fields and the Jets, they get the home win against the Browns. The Dolphins, they can sometimes play the Bills tough in Miami. And I didn't even realize, but I had the Bills at 8-0. I think it stops here. Miami gets a divisional win in Miami. Bills' undefeated season comes to an end. And that was our last defeated team. We have a few one-loss teams here. Packers, Eagles, now Bills and Ravens. But the undefeated start at 8-0 comes to an end for the Bills. Chargers over the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers and them are off to a 1-3 now after their 5-0 start. International game, I'm going to give it. The Colts are 1-8. I think they have a bounce back game here. They get the win. Ravens and Vikings. Vikings are just too good. I don't see an upset here. Bucks over the Pats. Bears over the Giants. Panthers over the Saints. Seahawks over the Cardinals. Niners, Rams avoid the sweep. They beat the Niners. Lions and Manders. I'm going to give it to the Manders here. I think they just have a better. I'm going to go to the Lions. On the road, I think the Commanders, like I said, come back down to earth a little bit. Win about 10 games, maybe 11 at the most. Lions get the road win. Eagles and Packers. Monday Night Football. This is going to be one we don't want to miss. It's in Green Bay. The one-loss Packers, the one-loss Eagles. Both good defenses. Both good offenses. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm leaning Eagles because they just have the better team. It's in Lambeau. We're going to go Eagles. Jalen Hurts and the guys get it done. Week 11, we got the Jets and the Pats. I have got the Pats getting the win here in New England. I've got Cam Ward and the Titans with an upset over Houston in Tennessee. Those divisional games, sometimes you have to look out for them. Sometimes they're upsets. Bengals and Pittsburgh here. I got the Bengals winning. Pittsburgh is now 1-4 since their 5-0 start. I know everyone's probably freaking out. Oh my God, this guy's an idiot. He's got Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers starting 5-0. Well, look at us now. They're 6-4, 1-4 in their last 5. Their schedule's just so cake in the first part of the season. How can you just not predict them to win those games? But are they really going to start 5-0 in the regular season? Probably not. But could they be 6-4 by week 11? Probably. So we could be on track here. Chargers and Jags, again. Chargers, they are on the West Coast to East Coast early time zone game here. I think Liam Cohen has these guys playing better football. I'm going to go with the Jags. Chiefs and Broncos, I think the Denver makes a statement here and says the AFC West is not yours. You're not going to get it so easily. We are here. We are for real. I know they beat them last season in Denver. I think the Chiefs turned it over like 4 times. But this time it's for real. Denver gets the win, and they have the divisional lead. Ravens and Browns, just to have some fun. Let's have some fun. I think the Browns, and I think it's Joe Flacco. It's still starting by this point. I think Kevin Stefanski, at this point in our prediction world here, is on the hot seat. I think he gets it done. Upset over the 8-1, previous 8-1 Bengals. Browns with the upset in Cleveland. Commanders and Dolphins in an international game. A lot of international games. And I'll tell you, I'm not getting up at what would be 6 a.m. for us West Coasters to watch any of those. I'll catch the highlights after. I got Jaden Daniels and the Commanders getting that one because Tua and the Dolphins can't beat upper tier teams. Bucks and Bills. This one's in Buffalo. Baker Mayfield and the boys. Could we see them going into Buffalo and snatching a win? We very well could, but I think Bills grab the win and are 9-1. Cowboys at Vegas. They are 2-7. Cowboys are 6-3. I think they continue having a good season here. Cowboys with the win in Vegas. Bears and Vikings. I'm giving McCarthy and the guys their second win of the season. They end the losing streak. They beat the Bears in Minnesota. Panthers and Falcons. I think the Panthers pick up another win here, going up against Penix and Atlanta. I don't think the Falcons are going to be anything special, obviously. I had them here at 2-8. I am a fan of Michael Penix. I think he has a really good season, but it's not turning out that way, unfortunately. Packers and Giants, no upset here. Packers get the win. They continue their good start to the season. Rams over the Seahawks. They are starting to have a bit of a bounce back here. Like I said, they tend to start slow, but they are having a better midseason here, and they are off to 6-4. Niners and Cardinals. I was thinking about this one for a little bit. Cardinals are 5-4. Niners are 7-3. In Arizona, I'm going to give Cardinals the upset win. I'm going to give them the win. They go to 6-4. Lions and Eagles. This is going to be a good one. I'm not sure if this is a Sunday primetime game or not. It's in Philly. Like I said, I think the Lions don't have a 12, 13, 14, 15 win season. I think they take a little bit of a step back, maybe win 10 or 11 games. I got the defending champs winning here. On to week 12, getting toward the end of the season here. These games are going to start getting harder. The outdoor games on the East Coast are going to get colder. So we can take that into consideration for some of our matchups. Not taking it into consideration for this Buffalo-Houston matchup, because Houston plays inside. I have them winning and beating Buffalo, making a statement that they are a team to be reckoned with in the AFC. Chiefs over the Colts. They are off their losing streak. I believe I had them on, losing back-to-back to Buffalo and Denver. Patriots and Bengals. Joe Burrow is going to be too much for them. Ravens over the Jets. They get the win after their upset over the Browns. Vegas gets the win over the aforementioned Browns. Steelers and Bears. Rodgers, he owns Chicago. He just does. Rodgers sees that Chicago's, on the slate. It's an easy W. Rodgers and the Steelers get the win. They get back on track. Keep in true Mike Tomlin fashion, they keep their wild card hopes alive, because we all know they're going to make it. Tomlin's going to win, 9, 10 games. They're going to find their way in the wild card, and then they're going to lose. It's just how Steelers do it. It wouldn't be any other way. Seahawks and Sam Darnold get a win here, their third of the season, and they end the little bit of a winning run by Cam Ward and the Titans. Jags over the Cardinals. They win in Arizona, and they continue their nice start to the season at 6-5. Minnesota and Green Bay. No upset here. Green Bay over the Vikings. Giants and Cardinals. I hope you're not a Giants fan. You might not be mad at me. You might actually be mad at me. I have you guys at 1-10. Are Russ and the Giants going to be 1-10? Probably not, because anything can happen in the NFL any given Sunday. So they're probably not going to be 1-10, but I have them 1-10 here. Now 1-11. Lions get the win. Falcons and Saints. I try not to laugh here because I just scrolled down. I see the 0-10. I see the 0-10 record here for the Saints, which is just funny to have a team 0-10. Just like I was talking about with the Giants. Are they actually going to go 1-10? No. Are the Saints actually going to be 0-10 at this point? I mean, maybe with Tyler Shuck. I project as a starter and Spencer. Oh gosh. Do the Saints go 0-11? The Falcons are 2-8. The Falcons are they're at home. Saints get the upset win. I'm going to do it. Saints get the upset win. They end the They end the winless season. They don't go winless. They get the upset divisional win because they are at home. 1-10 Saints. Eagles and Cowboys, always a good one. Interdivisional game. Eagles are on this hot run with their 9-1. This one is in Dallas. I'm going to give it to the Cowboys. Cowboy fans, you're welcome. Bucks and Rams, I think Baker and the Bucks grab this one. And the Rams' little run there. Niners over the Panthers. Week 13, getting around that Thanksgiving time. I believe, yep, this is Thanksgiving week. We have the 3 Thursday games with the Bengals and Ravens, the night game, which will be fantastic. Chiefs and Cowboys for the afternoon game, which is fantastic. And Packers and Vikings for the morning game. NFL cooked. They put a great night game, well, projected to be great afternoon game, and great morning game. Let's start with the morning game. Packers and Lions. Lions get the win. I think they win this. I think they start figuring it out with their new coordinators. I think Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Hutchinson, they start figuring it out towards this part of the season. Cowboys and Chiefs. Mahomes, Texas boy. Not from Dallas, obviously. Went to Texas Tech. But I think he gets the win against the Cowboys. I also don't think Mahomes has ever lost to the Cowboys. Dallas fans, you guys would know. And if that's true, so doesn't lose here. Bengals and Ravens. This was a shootout last season. I know Jamar Chase went crazy in this game. I think he had 3 touchdowns and 200 yards or something like that. How do I know? Because I had him in fantasy football. That's how I know. This one, I project to be another shootout. Bengals are 8-3 here in our projection. Ravens are 9-2. Night game in Baltimore. Ravens probably wear their blackout uniforms. 10-2 Ravens. They get the win. Jags and Titans. Cam Ward. Do they get the upset over Jacksonville? No. I think Lawrence and Cohen and Brian Thomas, they get the win here. Texans and Colts. Colts are off to a 2-9 start, but who would be surprised if they did that? Shane Steichen on the hot seat. If not, probably fired already if they're 2-9 at this point. Doesn't matter. It's going to continue. Texans, 9-3. I got Chargers over the Raiders. Bills off to a 10-2 start over Rodgers and the Steelers. Saints, they don't get 2 wins in a row. It's the Dolphins. Dolphins beat the bad teams. They lose to the good teams. They win here. Penix and the Falcons get the win in New York. Cleveland and San Francisco. I'm not going to have another Cleveland home game upset here. I got the 49ers beating the Browns. Denver and the Commanders. Denver is 8-3. They're fighting for the AFC divisional championship. Like I said, I think they're going to make a statement saying, we are here. We are for real. I got them beating the Commanders in DC. Giants and Patriots. I got New England picking up the win against the now 1-12 Giants. I think Drake May is going to have a good season. But I don't think it's going to be a playoff season. But I think Drake May has a good season for a second-year player, second-year quarterback. Bears and Eagles, no upset here. Eagles get the win. They have reached double-digit. Cardinals and Bucks in Tampa. West Coast team going to East Coast. I got Tampa winning. Rams and Panthers. I got the Rams winning. This is just what they do. They start the season slow, and then they're going to win all their games toward the back half of the year. And they're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the postseason. Vikings and Seahawks. I think Darnold beats his former team, who did not re-sign him after the great season, the 14-win season that he gave them. I attribute most of that success to Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and the talent that they have in that defense. But you can't deny that Darnold played really well. Pretty sure he had over 30 passing touchdowns. But they didn't re-sign him. They said McCarthy's our guy. You can't blame them. They drafted McCarthy to be their guy. They didn't project Darnold to have that stellar season. But I think Darnold gets the revenge win here in Seattle. Off to week 14, Jets and Dolphins, interdivisional game. I don't care. Dolphins get the win. Steelers and Ravens. Steelers, they continue their Mike Tomlin run where they start off so well and just crumble toward the back half of the season, but somehow still make the playoffs. We'll see. It'll be funny if that actually happens here in my projection. There's 7-6 and the current 9 seed, as we see here at the top left. So we'll see if they get in as that 7 seed. Ravens are just too good. Colts and Jags. I've got the Jags winning this one. I think the Colts have like a really bad record in Jacksonville all time. It continues here. Even in the Peyton Manning era, pretty sure they struggled in Jacksonville. But Jags win this one in the Daniel Jones era, which if they're 2-11, I highly doubt Daniel Jones is still starting. We'll see. Browns over Cam Ward and the Titans. Cleveland, tough place to play. They get back in the win column. No upset here for Vegas. Denver over the Raiders. They're at double-digit wins. Bengals and Bills. What a game we have here in Buffalo. This, don't know for the prime time game. I see here it says coming off a bye. Okay, I was wondering what these meant. So they're coming off their bye if they have this little red marker under there. That's actually good to know because teams like Kansas City, Andy Reid has a really good record the game after their bye week. So that could play implications. Bengals are 8-4. Bills are 10-2. They're coming off a loss. Do I give them another loss? I'm going to give the win to Burrow and the Bengals. I think they get the win here. Bills lose 2 straight. Like I said, Chiefs coming off the bye. Andy Reid has a really good record coming off his bye weeks. They get the win. They are tied up with Denver at 10-3. Eagles and Chargers. I have Philly winning this game. They're just the better team. Chargers 6-7 under Jim Harbaugh, but it's just how it's played out here. Both teams coming off bye weeks here. Cowboys and Lions. This is the Thursday night game, so back-to-back Thursday night games for the Thanksgiving Day participants. I have Cowboys are 8-4. Lions are 8-4. Lions are at home. I think they start figuring it out at this point of the season. They get the win. Bears and Packers, no upset here. Green Bay is to double-digit wins. Commanders and Vikings, again, no upset to be had. Commanders get the win. They have 8. Seahawks and Falcons, I think Darnold and the Seahawks get the win there. They're up to 5-8. Falcons are to 3-10. Not good for the Penix era. Will they actually go 3-10? Unlikely. That's what they're doing here. Saints and Bucks. Saints don't get their second win. Bucks keep rolling. Rams and Cardinals. I got a Cardinals here. I got the Cardinals beating the Rams. Both teams are now 7-6. On to the next week, week 15. Coming down to the home stretch here for the regular season. Chargers and Chiefs. I got Kansas City completing the season sweep. Ravens and Bengals. The Ravens won the first matchup. I think Bengals take the second, and they are right behind them in the AFC North with 10 wins. Ravens at 11. Bills and Patriots. Bills end their losing streak. They've got 11 wins. Jets and Jags. Jags, 9 wins. They beat Justin Fields and the Jets. Off to a nice start in the Liam Cohen era. Dolphins and Steelers. I think Rodgers and the guys get back on track. They are 8-6, keeping their playoff spot hopes alive. Cardinals and Texans. Texans win here. They are now at double-digit wins. The Browns and the Bears. Caleb Williams and the guys get the win. I guess I can predict the score here. I'm not predicting the score. That's just, video would be 4 hours long, and nobody wants to watch that. Heck, probably nobody wants to watch this anyway. So got to keep it as short as possible. The attention span of people these days is at an all-time low. So you have an hour-long video, they're probably not going to click because they just can't focus for that long. But enough of that rant. Back to our selections here. Raiders and Eagles, no upset to be had. I can't do it. Eagles, 12 wins. Looking like the best team in the league, as they should. They brought back pretty much their entire squad from their Super Bowl championship, and they should make another run at it. Titans and Niners, Cam Ward does not get the win in San Fran. Colts and Seahawks, I have got Seattle and Sam Darnold picking up another win. Looking a little better at 6-8. Not out of it yet. Not out of wildcard contention. Packers and Vikings, no. Packers and Broncos, this one's in Denver. Both teams with 10 wins. I don't know. Inter-conference game. This one's a tough one. Again, I think either team can win. I wouldn't be shocked if either team wins this one, but I'm just going to go with the home field advantage. If this was in Green Bay, I'd give it to Green Bay, but it's in Denver. I'm giving it to the Broncos, and they match the Chiefs at 11 wins. Falcons and Bucks. Bucks get the win and complete the sweep of Atlanta. Commanders and Giants, no upset to be had here. Commanders get their 9th win. Lions and Rams, I think the Rams pick up this win here. It's in LA. If this was in Detroit, I would pick the Lions. Panthers and Saints, I'm going to give this one to the Panthers. They pick up their 4th win. Vikings and Cowboys, I have got the Cowboys beating McCarthy and company. Chiefs and Titans, no upset for Cam Ward. Ravens over the Patriots, Bills over the Browns, Denver over Jacksonville, Houston over Vegas, Cincinnati over Miami, Dallas over LA, the Jets over the Saints, the Lions over the Steelers, the Niners over the Colts, the Rams over the Seahawks, Packers over the Bears. They complete the sweep. Manders over the Eagles. I've got the upset there. Manders hit 10 wins. Giants over the Vikings. They reached their 2nd win of the season. Panthers with the upset over the division foe Tampa Bay Bucks. And the Cardinals over the Falcons. They're to 8 wins. Week 17, we got 2 weeks left of the regular season here. Let's take a look back at our divisional standings, conference standings. Denver would be the 1 seed at the current moment with 12 wins. 2 seed would be Buffalo. 3 seed would be Ravens. And the 4 seed would be the Texans. 3 12-win teams in the AFC. Will it actually play out that way? Probably not. But this is how it's going here. Chiefs with the 5 seed. Bengals with the 6 seed. And the Jags with the 7 seed. Like I said, I could see them making a wild card push. Steelers, they're the 8 seeds. They're right there. Just what they need to be. Eagles leading the NFC with 12 wins. The 2-seeded Packers with 11. 3-seeded 49ers with 11, which is quite a surprise. And the 4-seeded Bucks leading the South. The 5-seeded Lions, the 6-seeded Cowboys, and the 7-seeded Manders. Looking back at surprises, I'd say Denver as the 1 seed would be surprising to some people. Jacksonville at 9 wins could be surprising. What else do we have here? The Raiders at 3-12 in the Pete Carroll era would be surprising. 6-9, nice. For the Chargers would be surprising. 2-13 for the Giants, Vikings. 3-12 for the Falcons. 1-14 for the Saints. Saints are going to be bad. But are they really going to be 1-14? Probably not. So definitely some surprising things happening here. But that's just how it's turned out. Getting back into the predictions. Almost done here. Denver and Kansas City. Mahomes gets the revenge for the earlier season loss. They take sole possession of the West. Chargers over the Texans. They get a win over Houston and Stroud. Jacksonville beats Indy. They reach 10 wins. New England and the Jets. I think Justin Fields and the guys get the win here. Steelers beat the Browns in Cleveland. I know they lost this game. It was a snowy Thursday night game against the Browns last season. Cleveland's a tough place to play, divisional matchup. But the Steelers, they need, because it's just what they do, they got to keep those wild card hopes alive. And they do. They get the win. 9 wins for Rodgers and crew. Vegas gets the win over the Giants. Baltimore in Green Bay. What a game this would be. I got Green Bay with the win because they're at home. Bengals over the Cardinals. I'm going to have the Saints winning in Tennessee and picking up their second win of the season. Some might say an upset, but it's happening here. State duel. Tampa, Miami, battle for Florida. I got Miami winning this one. Eagles and Bills. What a matchup this is. You could say Super Bowl preview in Buffalo. Both teams 12-3. I got Buffalo beating Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, and the Eagles. Cowboys and Manders. What a game this was. Was it week 16 last season? The Cowboys and Commanders game in DC, where like 35 or so points were scored in like the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. It was insane. Insane game. Cooper Rush and the Cowboys actually got the win in that one. Not this time. Commanders get the win over Dallas. Lions and Vikings. I had the Lions winning. I was going to call for an upset here. You know what I'm going to? I'm going to do it. I'm calling for the Minnesota Viking upset over Detroit in Minnesota. They are 3-13, but they get the upset win. Darnold, Bryce Young, Seahawks, Panthers. Panthers 5-10, Seahawks 6-9. I think Panthers get the win here, and they go to 6-10. Let's see. Niners and Bears. I'm thinking about this one a little bit. Do I want an upset win for Caleb? Yes, I do. Caleb Williams and the Bears get the upset win in Santa Clara. Rams and Falcons. Monday Night Football in Atlanta. It's going to be a hot Atlanta night. Falcons, upset win. On to week 18. Last week of the regular season. Teams will start resting their players that have a seed locked up or their playoff positioning locked up. And telling you right now, looking at these divisional standings, no one in the AFC has the conference locked up. Bills, Broncos, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, all in competition for the 1 seed. Over here on the NFC, Eagles, Commanders, Packers, and Niners, all kind of in contention for that 1 seed. So I don't think anybody's going to be resting starters here. So we're going to pick these based off of everybody's playing. Chiefs over the Raiders. Mahomes owns Vegas. He does not lose to the Raiders much. Denver beats LA. They match Kansas City. But Kansas City does have one more win. It looks like they will lock up the 1 seed here. Houston over Indianapolis. They secure the division over Jacksonville. Bengals over the Browns. They secure their playoff spot. 13 wins. Bills over the Jets. They do the same, securing their playoff spot. And they actually lock up the 1 seed because they have the head-to-head over Kansas City. So Bills have the 1 seed at 14 wins. I have Miami beating New England, fighting for their wild card spot. They reach 10 wins. Ravens and Steelers. I've got the Ravens beating the Steelers because they are in 1 seed contention. They're playing their starters and they win the game there. Titans and Jags. I have Jacksonville winning this one. They're competing for a playoff spot. They need a win. They get it. Cardinals and Rams. This game, Rams, the 8 seed. Cardinals, the 9 seed. What a huge game this is for playoff positioning. Rams get the win. Seahawks and Niners, they continue their fantastic season. Packers and Vikings. Packers are trying to compete for that 1 seed. They get the win. Lions and Bears, no upset here. Lions get the win. They've reached 11. Saints and Falcons. I got the Falcons winning, finishing the season 5-12. Saints 2-15. Sorry, Saints fans. Cowboys and Giants. The Cowboys, looks like they'd have their playoff positioning locked up here. Well, I guess they wouldn't because the Lions are the 6th seed with 11 wins. And Commanders are right there at the 5 seed. I got Cowboys beating the Giants. Eagles over the Commanders. Commanders grab the earlier season win. Eagles get the revenge to lock up the 1 seed. And I got Tampa, who will be resting their starters. Carolina getting the win over the Bucks. There we go. 18 weeks predicting the entire regular season. Here we are with the division winners. Buffalo at 14-3, finishing with a division record of 5-1. Same goes for Kansas City, 14-3, 5-1. Denver 5-1 in the division. Both those teams, their only losses were to each other. 14 wins for Kansas City, 13 for Denver. 13 wins for both Cincinnati and Baltimore. But Cincinnati, they split the regular season matchups here. They got both 4-2 in the division, but Cincinnati must have had the better conference record because they get the edge over Baltimore for the divisional win. Houston winning the South for a 3rd straight season. Jacksonville, I told you, they just slip in as a 7 seed. Liam Cohen gets the guys to the postseason. Over here on the NFC side, we have the Eagles at 13-4 as the 1 seed, to no surprise. Cowboys get in as the 6 seed. Manders as the 7. So they had a bit of a dip there. Packers, they did reach 11 wins, though, which I think is their peak. Packers, 13 wins. They get that 2nd seed due to a tiebreaker. I believe, is it head-to-head tiebreaker? I think Green Bay, I think they played, and I gave the edge to the Eagles, so it'll be a head-to-head tiebreaker there. Lions, 11-6. They get in as the 5 seed. Niners, a surprise 3 seed. Bucks, the 4 seed. Saints 2-15, Falcons 5-12. Rams missed the postseason with 10 wins, as do the Dolphins over here, missing the postseason with 10 wins. And like I said, Mike Tomlin, his specialty, getting that winning record, but not getting into the postseason this time. Other things going on, Vikings a bad season and Giants a bad season. On to the wild card. We have Baltimore, the 5 seed, at Houston, the 4 seed. Ravens are too good. They get the win. Houston's one and done. A regular season rematch for Denver and Cincinnati. Cincinnati grabbed the earlier season game. It was a great game when they faced last season in real life in Cincinnati. This is the playoffs. Joe Cool, Joe Burr, he's a playoff performer. 13-win Denver. I know I said they're going to make a statement and say, we're here, we're ready, we're for real. They just really drew a bad wild card matchup. I did not think they would draw this matchup, obviously, when I was doing this entire thing. But they got a bad matchup, and Cincinnati's going to get the win. Kansas City and Jacksonville. Kansas City with the win. Liam Cohen's nice first season with the Jags comes to an end. Lions and Bucks. Bucks have given the Lions some troubles. This is a tough one. I can see it going either way. But I think Gibbs and the Lions, they figure it out. They get the win. Cowboys and Niners. I think the Niners special run ends here. And the Cowboys do the unthinkable and win a playoff game in 2025. Well, it'll be 2026, actually, when these games are going on. But anyway, Commanders and Packers. Again, I think the Commanders, they draw a bad matchup. I think Green Bay is going to be a really good team this year. I think they're a really complete team, especially if they get that running game going with Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love can stay healthy and the defense can stay healthy. Packers get the win here. On the divisional, the classic Joe Burrow-Patrick Mahomes matchup. Joe Burrow has gotten the betterment of Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs when they've faced Cincinnati's defense. They are just not good enough. Can't bet against Mahomes. He always reaches the championship game, and it doesn't end here. Chiefs get the win. Buffalo, Baltimore. Baltimore gets the revenge. They do not lose this time in the divisional against the Bills. Lions and Packers. Packers are going to get the win at home. The 2 seed advances on. Eagles over the Cowboys. No explanation. We have a Ravens Chiefs 5 seed versus 2 seed. Packers Eagles 2 seed versus 1 seed. I don't want to say it because Lamar Jackson has not proven to be a playoff performer, and Patrick Mahomes has. Oh gosh, am I really going to have a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl again? Chiefs win. Chiefs win. Mahomes is on his revenge tour. I know nobody's going to like that pick, but it's just what I believe. I believe Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. He has a bad taste in his loss, the past Super Bowl, and he's coming for everybody. I think Chiefs, I think they get back to the Super Bowl for the 4th straight season. Packers and Eagles. Oh gosh. Are we really going to have a rematch? Honestly, probably not. In real life, I doubt this is even the conference championship games, but this is just how it's turned out for me. And I'm sure everybody's going to say it's chalk and it's not going to happen and I'm an idiot. Well, it is what it is. Okay. Packers and Eagles. Eagles are just the better team. Eagles are the better team. We have a Chiefs-Eagles rematch. Patrick Mahomes gets his revenge. The Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions. Number 4 for Mahomes. That is my entire season prediction. I'm sure it'll be stupid. I'm sure I'm an idiot. And I'm sure I'll be told that this will all not happen, which is probably correct. I'm sure none of this stuff happens. None of it plays out the way it does. But this is what I have. If you like the video, make sure you drop a like. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my upcoming NFL content. And I will see you guys next time.